I was about to say good evening and welcome, but I don't actually recall how time zones work as it is only morning for me. Hope everyone's doing well this day as we have another NGS Season 12 cast. This time we are going to the Nexus Division with a, well, flex match between Small Potatoes and gillyShark, I believe. Today will just be a day of replay casts, so we do see that this will be a flex match, and any other matches following this will be those flex matches. Not flex matches, replay matches. Anyway, we do see Small Potatoes did ban out both Volskaya and Sky Temple, and gillyShark banned out Dragonshire and Ultrak Pass, a map I constantly call Ultrak Valley, but I did get it right this time, unless someone tries to come in and confuse me once again. Anyway, we did see that led us to a Cursed Hollow, and as I say during every series that I cast a replay of, I don't know who chooses map pick and who chooses first pick. It's the only way I can come into this blind and kind of make sure I don't spoil the match for myself and get thrown off. And yeah, I did notice it. I had to double check when this match was actually happening. And yes, it was 1-2-23. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. This may be an interesting one because I am in my waking up mode still. It is an early morning for me. I stayed up late playing Dark Souls. That's been an interesting time. But anyway, let's get into it. On the left-hand side of Small Potatoes, we see Chimp Loafers on the Artanis, Hound FPS on the... Oh god, now I've got to remember names. Nazebo Exerted on the Hanzo, Tone Phone on the Stukov, and Shenmeister on the Joanna. On the right-hand side of gillyShark, we have Chess Looter. Oh wait, what? Okay, there's Looters and Looter. Okay, there's Chess Looters on the... I keep calling it Space Yoshi, but his real name's Dahaka. Stark on the Stitches. Oh god. Kamo Tripson on the Decade. Ikebe on the... Or Ikebe? Ikebe? On the Greymane, and we do see Schumann on the Kalephis. I haven't actually had a chance to actually cast this map very often. We see a lot of other maps picked up over this, and I don't know why. I'm personally a fan of this map. You can do some very cheeky things. And we'll see that, well, if there's anything cheeky happens, as we already see a 1-3-1 split from the side of Small Potatoes. Stark gets an excellent hook as a follow-up, and that will be the Kalephis dead, not the Kalephis, the Hanzo dead to that excellent CC chain on Stark's hook. And it looks like we're getting just a general rotation happening here. Yep, as we see Hound FPS backing out, and this wave does manage to crash into gates. A little bit of damage has happened here so far, as they are... Well, Nazebo likes to push. And, well, that's all he does. The names... I see about 3 different names for Greymane over here. That's... I was going to get it eventually. But yeah, we do see that. Naz is always a problem with... If you just leave him alone too long, he does a lot of extra push. So we're just seeing him almost being babysat a little by both the tank and the Kalephis. As with Kalephis there with Stitches, that is a lot of follow-up, especially in terms of CC, and that means you will likely see that character die more. And it also, this camp has started early. Ikebe getting very low to start with, or is it Ikebe? I still don't know. But we do see that is a nice early bruiser camp, especially because Greymane is able to just tear those apart from early on. And I wasn't watching the map. Good start, me. And we do see the Artanis going down to the Dahaka. Very unfortunate stuff. Oh my god. gillyShark just out to a roaring start with 3 kills so far, actually. Me missing 2 of them. I'm so sorry. That's right. We see Shenmeister also gets hooked. Not really much of a follow-up as Schumann didn't really look like he was expecting that to come in, but still a decent amount of damage all the while. Iron Skin used, and that will be them getting out safely. Looking at this push middle, we do see the Night Camp finally getting to this wall. And just a lot of damage coming out. That is a good wall by Nazebo, trapping just 2 of the allies. Well, no, it's 2 of the allies of gillyShark, but not really getting too much on it. Brief things to notice. We do have a lot of stacking happening this game, actually. We do see Artanis go into that Protector of Io, Hanzo into that Scatter Arrow build that, I can't remember what it's called. Simple Geometry, Spider build on Nazebo, and Laws of Hope and Joanna. And on the right hand side we do see, oh, there's Exerter getting hooked actually, getting slowed, will not get hit by the root. Schumann stepping up to get that stun. Actually no, doesn't throw out the stun, but does get a Flame Strike and Living Bomb onto Exerted. That's actually a lot of health going down for someone a bit, not even that far out of position, actually quite safe. We do see swap onto Kaimatrips and running upwards. Everyone manages to dodge the root, and Kaimo is running for their life. Does Prof Chimp Loafers for a bit, and that's an excellent hook by Stark, getting Kaimo out of danger. Very good start of the game. We do see this aggression starting to come through now from Small Potatoes. They're wanting to make sure they don't stay too behind here. Chessluda just doing their best just to stall a little bit. We did see Kaimatrips and also throwing out abilities to keep that stall down. Stark going very aggressive. He can on the Stitches. Stitches, very bulky boy, has a lot of actually sustained with that E. So we do see him stepping up a little bit. Chimp Loafers getting very low, same as Shinmeister. However, Chimp Loafers does back out. We do see a little bit of split between the Stukov and the rest of the team. So that's why they weren't quite getting the healing they needed to. All the while, we did have this camp pushing bottom, and we see that first tower going down. A ping happening top. Okay, it looks like they're considering a gank. But Schumann just throwing out a Living Bomb to speed Vats. Wave clear up. Chimp Loafers barely gets the interrupt onto Kael'thas. Kael'thas hits the stun on the tongue. That's a weird looking interaction. Chimp Loafers getting hit by that. Flame strikes barely, and that will be them going down. That's very unfortunate. A second kill onto the Artanis. Welcome, Stark. I hope you're doing well today. Now, we have a careful looking Stark and Kaimatrips and just kind of watching rotations. However, there wasn't really any follow-up to be there with them, so not much they could do in theory, but in reality, I don't know. This is a Nexus div, and people seem to pull out things that I don't even expect half the time. Such as, this Nazebo is in mid. Why is Nazebo in mid? No, I'm joking. There's obviously a reason why, just don't ask me why. And that will be the second objective, going over to the side of gillyShark. Stark sets up Shinmeister. We do see just now the damage and the healer coming up in behind him. We do see just this 3v3 3-man split. Where's the healer? Oh, there's the healer. Man, I just don't have object permanence. If it's off the screen, it doesn't exist for me. That's an excellent route by the Kaimatrips. I was about to say the Deckard's name. I couldn't remember Deckard's name, so no, nope, going with Kaimo. Good blind coming out from the Joanna, and there's a bomb spread onto two members of the blue team, Small Potatoes, and that will be a Stukov dying to living bombs, and that is very bad timing, in fact, as we do see this objective coming up. We do see that Chimp Loafers is a bit scared, but we do expect the hook coming out from Stark any second. That's an excellent sidestep, and that will be Chimp Loafers getting out safely. Hello, Raka. I hope you're doing well. I don't actually know what time it is in the US currently. I'm assuming it's late afternoon, early evening, but I can actually do things at a reasonable time because it is Saturday already for me. It is my weekend. Stark went for the hook, didn't quite find anything. Excellent blind from Joe, just keeping that stall out for a little while longer. However, we don't see much more coming out. Hanzo is not quite going to get any stall, and that will be the first curse over for the side of gillyShark, and we do see a very aggressive rotation here onto Nazebo, and Nazebo isn't... Was that necessary? Was eating that poor Nazebo necessary? I mean, he died, yes. But that was just a bit rude in all honesty. Just... What did that Nazebo ever do to you, Stark? He just walked up and ate it, man. We see Hanzo getting a little bit of scouting here, but we see the red team decide to kind of... The red team of gillyShark, so I should really give him a practice of saying names while going elsewhere. Right, we did actually see Heroics coming in during this phase. I've pushed the wrong button. We do see that there has been no choice by the Deckard here, probably holding CF Lornado, or... I like Lornado on this map personally, I'd love to see it. But we did see Gorge on the Stitches, Isolation on Dahaka, Pyroblast on Kael'thas, and Cursed Bullet. Cursed Bullet? Wow. Cursed Bullet on... Oh. I think I figured out Hunter's ult. Yep. Hook doesn't quite find anything, and I was just saying Cursed Bullet on Greymane. On the left-hand side of Small Potatoes, we did see that Dragon Arrow sailing past the team with that NA Arrow. Purify Beam on Artanis, and we do actually see the full Phase Prism build so far. Very interesting. Boss Call coming out from Small Potatoes as a side note. We do see Nazebo go Gargantuan, Blessed Shield on the Joanna, and Flailing Swipes on the Stukov. I do like this boss call here, actually. It alleviates a lot of pressure bottom, which we do actually see a decent... Wow, that potion made it look like there are far more minions than I thought there were. Interesting. We do see Boss pushing in bottom here, and we do actually see that they've started this a bit late now, so the blue team is actually already here to, well, pressure them off this Boss. We do see Jessuda going in. That will be them having to use Burrow, dodges the spiders, dodges a lot of the beam, and they'll be Karma Tripson into the backline. Chimplos is in the backline. That is a bit overkill, but in the end in a fight, that little bit of overkill may be the difference between, well, them living and them dying. That's a weird sentence to say in theory, but it makes sense in my head. We do see Isolation coming out to Duke off. That will be cutting off the healing from the side of Small Potatoes. Actually, however they live for it. Cheslota has to back out, getting very low themselves. They'll be Exerted, getting hit by a lot of damage, but not quite anything being found just yet. Shenmeister is very low on mana. This has been a very resource-intensive fight on the tank of Small Potato, and that we... Oh. The boss kind of petered out bottom before it really got anything, but mid-4 went down to that Bruiser camp. We do see that was a very good, actually, defense on the side of... Oh, not defense maybe for Small Potatoes, but a very good deterrent from doing that boss originally. However, we do see the red team going straight back to it, and we do see Decad pop the Ancient Blessings. Now, I know that does give it extra auto-attack damage, but it doesn't really give any of the bonus healing that it also gives when you're hitting PvE minions. When you're doing PvE stuff, which hitting a boss is PvE. And there we see Calvis complete out his level 1. He now has that mana shield, that mana barrier? Arcane barrier. I remembered one of the words eventually, but I wasn't remembering arcane. But yeah, they'll add a lot to Calvis' survivability, as now he will be able to just eat a few extra hits with that shield. Barrier. Bucket. And this will look like it will be just given over to the side of gillyShark, as we did see that 13s did not come in too long ago for the side of Small Potatoes. Start getting very aggressive here, but we do know Gorge is up, so the team should be able to get back to him in time if he was able to Gorge a target, which unfortunately he was not. Oh! What? I gotta look at him. I even went to look at the map as that was happening. I went, wait a minute. You know, one day I'll get good at... I play offlane, I should be able to look at the map and, like, realize what the hell is happening. But I'm just like, no, I don't think I will notice what's happening today. Right, sorry about that. We see I nearly see Chit. So Chimp Loaf is coming in, trying to hit the swap start, gets hit by the Dragon Arrow, doesn't really do much. Picks up the Joanna along the way and able to drop behind wall. Joanna should be mentioned that they are Blizzard Shield, not that Falling Sword, so they do not have the means to easily get out. They nearly got out thanks to that. Oh, that was an excellent hook into the Nazebo, and that will be a 2 for 0 going over to the side of gillyShark that fight. And that is just the power of Stitches. Sure, they don't have any like consistent CC in terms of stuns and roots or some things like that, but they do have a lot of pick potential with that hook, with that Gorge. Like, it just adds up so much more, and I've just noticed they did go under pressure. I love this talent. I know for a long time there's like people going, go for hook talent, but I love under pressure. And there we see what could be considered the biggest CC that we see from Stitches, being that, I can't remember what's called, Pulverize, being 80% slow on slam. We do see a fight down the talent tier here on the side of Small Potatoes. I don't know why they're choosing to come in now. I guess they did see that Dahaka is bottom, but they don't yet have a healer. Interesting fight to take that Dragon Arrow will get to. Looks like Schumann and Stark will be out. That's a Gorge once again on Joanna. Dropping the Joanna behind everyone, not necessarily a good idea. Excellent spot with the EQB. EQB has to change the Matt Morgan form. Kalthus goes down first. EQB trying their best. We do see the hook coming out and saving them, and as well as the Ruby potions doing work as well. We do already see Cheslota in position to cap this objective. Really, the main name of the game now is for the red team to stall just to get another curse. Joanna trying their best. Actually fall short with that Blessed Shield, so they're unable to find that stall. And we do see Cheslota trying their best just to harass now as well. Stark actually eating a lot of damage here, getting quite low now, gets swapped. We did hear Curse Bullet go out, and that'll be the Stitches going down for the first time. We see Chymotrypsin swapped in, and that would be them just not quite having enough healing, all these rubies all for naught. That was a good fight, all considering, for the side of Small Potatoes. They're down for quite a bit for a while, but here they are coming back into it with that 2 for none. However, they did trade out Curse for it, so you gotta take that fight with a grain of salt. But however, with these two members dead, that means they can't really... gillyShark can't quite push as hard as they'd want to. Sure, this building is still getting very low here and could be just sneezed on at any moment. Oh. No, it won't quite go down to that wave. But yeah, that is really, with those two heroes dead, a lot of push that gillyShark wanted to do wasn't able to happen, as it would put them in too much danger to start staggering that deaths. Speaking of staggering deaths, EQB just kind of backing out, not really wanting to find a pick. If it was anything but the Joanna first, it may have been an option, but it was indeed that Joanna first. We do see up top, Cheslooter just wanting to sneeze on that building, as I said, gets that swarm out, just auto attacks the building once or twice, done. We do see, yeah, sure, boss play is happening here, but the side of gillyShark doesn't really, they may not know, they may not care, and they're choosing just to rip buildings open, opening up their win conditions, opening up that passive pressure. And this passive pressure of canvas every wave now will start adding up quite a bit over the course of the game. We do see Stark pushing up with him. We are very split here in the fight. Hook doesn't quite find anything. Was on track to hit Hound FPS, just didn't have the length to do so, even with that 13 upgrade, where people now just automatically get Fishing Hook. I believe it's still called Fishing Hook. I've actually got to push this. Extended Hook now, I'm sorry. I want it to be recalled Fishing Hook. I want that known. I want that put down on record and known for everyone just to go, yeah, Fishing Hook, that's right. I remember what it was called. And this is where I'm told it was never called Fishing Hook, and I just look dumb. Which, with my casting and how like I just miss some very basic things, is pretty often, it can be pretty common sometimes. But not today, a little bit today, but not too much today, which is excellent considering I started out Nexus Div, which means I have to kind of make sure I do say some things right. Now, Cheslooter, I may make you feel old here, but I do not know what Master's Touch is. Sorry to tell you, bud. Right, we do see actually a boss call being happening here by Small Potatoes to get aggressive onto the side of gillyShark's boss. One thing though is we do see this full wall and keep up here still, and oh, they've decided to change their mind. They're just looking to set up a gank. That was a really weird Joanna looking movement, just flicking back and forth, okay, I see. Jimlo for Stark boss actually saying that Stark turned up at the wrong time for it. That is a Luinator just kind of messing things around. Stark manages to eat the Artanis, however it will still be them going down before they're able to really get anywhere with it. Even Stitch is kind of, it's a bit susceptible to a lot of damage in CC. Sure, he's a big boy, but all that health don't matter if you just get ripped apart by a 5-man and your rest of your team can't follow up. I just want to quickly look at a few things. We do actually see Titan Killer on Artanis, so it'll be a good thing to note. We do see Piercing Arrow on Hanzo. So this talent probably makes Hanzo amazing on this map, just considering... Oh! That's very unfortunate. Is this a... Okay. With Heavy pushing in, Tone Phone is the first one in, and then we just see the disengage immediately from the side of gillyShark. Just not really wanting to mess with that. We get slow in on the Stukov. That will be Schumann just slowly going around. Cheslooter does manage to reach that bush, and with that, say if that level 1 comes in, that 140% move speed, they're able to get out of danger. That is a good Luinator as the team. Oh, Cheslooter just want to go back in. Doesn't quite hit the tongue. We see yet another Luinator. As we did see more Natos come out. I love this talent. Do I think it's the pick half the time? No, but on a map like this. Oh, that's an excellent stun onto Schumann. Schumann then also gets hit by a Blessed Shield. EQB does not quite hit their Cursed Bullet, and that will be the Kale Fist going down right at the beginning of this fight. I should say still that it is a 4v4, and we do have Cheslooter in Narnia. Oh, that's excellent floating swipe, as that is a good interrupt. Cheslooter does try, it's just stalling out a long time. We do see the excellent tongue coming out onto Exerted, and that move speed trying the best game away. That is a stun arrow at 20. That is the bullseye, and that will be them going, that will be Cheslooter going down in the end. Wait. Did Nazima really go Viral Infection with 85 stat? Hound FPS, if you ever turn up from this chat, I want you to explain what has happened here. We are nowhere near this yet. If you're expecting the game to go on that long, I like your positivity. I like your wishful thinking, some would call it, but I'm wondering if this was a... Huh, that doesn't show up as a storm talent there. Interesting, nor has normal squares, but the circle that we see on screen. But quickly going to run this down, we do see that we did have more NATOs. Master Hooker from the Stitches. Isolation upgrade. I don't want to look at. I want Contagion from Dahaka. Flamethrower from Kael'thas. And Hunter's Blunderbuss from the Greymane. Right on the left hand side for Small Potatoes, who are in position to get their first curse of the game. We do see that. No. Target purified from the Artanis Stark, getting that slam just to make sure. Excellent zombie wall by the Nazebo to stop the hook getting the channel cancelled. And that, that was a very good dodge of that Dragon Arrow coming through. We do see that faster laser beam hitting Stark. However, Stark just has a bit too much health to deal, for it to do anything. Shinameister does pop her blinded by the light to just keep her alive. And the other thing to note, we do have Bio Explosion switch. Hook coming up from Starkey, not quite finding anything, so that will be on its full cooldown, 16 seconds. Only gets that 6-second cooldown reduction, 4-second cooldown reduction if it actually hits someone. Chimplophus went for a cheeky swap, but how that does not quite find anything. I should mention that we are in a one-fight territory. Whoever wins this next fight wins, and we do see that Joanna is getting very low. Tone Phone gets pulled back in, and all that damage is still coming out. That is an excellent Blessed Shield. However, it is not quite enough to stop the... Trying to remember that boss's name. Not the actual player, but Stukov going down first. Shinmeister does get hooked back in, and this looks like it'll be another kill. Be interesting to see what gillyShark does here. If I was him, I would kind of just run this down. I'm also not a Nexus div, so I don't know. We do see Dahaka is going to clear that bottom wave. Is that even alone is quite a bit of pressure. We do see a boss call by the looks of it. Yep, this is indeed a boss call. We see pings coming out, and we see that this is supposed to be ripped to pieces. Greymane very good for ripping any sort of PvE kind of thing, and we do see the free man of Small Potatoes kind of stepping up, but even they're smart enough to know that maybe that isn't the best idea to kind of step on this when everyone else is kind of there on the side of gillyShark, and this boss is... Okay, we just get some safe play, but we do see that respawns are coming up now from the side of Small Potatoes. Sorry about that. But as I mentioned before, the more time that the longer this game goes on, the better for Nazebo is. He needs to get to that 175 stacks. Do I think it's getting there? I'm not that positive. I don't think it is. And we see gillyShark pushing in right under that core. We see bots marching up this bot lane. We see a laser beam coming out of the Schumann. Dragon Arrow comes through, does not quite find anything. We do see Stark removing that healing for just a little bit. Greymane. Artanis was in backline and swaps into their death. Stark getting very low as well. However, Cheslooter has been hitting core this whole time, as we do see shield drop for the first time. Kaimo trips and trying to their best just to keep the ally side of gillyShark up, and we do see core at 50%. Boss is falling faster at the moment, however. Actually, that's dropping to 30%. This looks like it'll be at 10. That was the Decade going down, however, it's a bit too little too late, as that will be the side of gillyShark taking the first map. As I remember how to do things, as I'm tired, right, we're going to do this, going to do this. Hell yeah. Looking at some talents real quick, we did see Decade actually beating up Stukov in terms of damage at the end. That would be very likely just during those team fights that Ancient Blessings add so much more. Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah, that does add the extra damage, but that extra healing over things such as super potions, which needs some time to set up, does it. But as Cheslooter has pointed out, yeah, there was actually some very good moments there where, they could have gone to fight the enemy team when they're maybe a talent up and they're doing boss, but choosing just to go for buildings as well, kind of... There's distinctly that one play where the enemy team was... The team of Small Potatoes doing boss, and we did see that play onto 2 keeps. But I realized that now they meant that Cheslooter was just hitting the core when everyone else was fighting. Not really in the team spirit of this game, is it? But it was what was needed for the win. Going over the stats again real quick, we see Decade to be up Stukov in terms of damage. We saw Hanzo did a lot actually that game, but we did have a very good kill combo, which was demonstrated essentially in the first minute as Stitch has got that hook on someone, and we just saw the stuns, the roots, and the follow-up damage coming out. In saying that, we did see very good, like, kind of almost turnaround by Small Potatoes in the mid to late game there, which is they were behind for quite a bit, as we did see 2 curses going over to the side of gillyShark before they even picked up a tribute. But like, as soon as they were starting to fight a bit more, they kind of just had a bit of an advantage, it seemed, with that extra stuns that Joanna has over something such as Stitches. Stitches really needs those picks to thrive, and I will give it to Stark. Stark was hitting those hooks and those gorges quite a bit and found those picks. But as soon as it was just a clean team fight, it just seemed to be a bit in the favor of... I've got to remember words now. Bit in the favor of Small Potatoes. However, it wasn't overwhelming by any means. Right, I'm going to quickly show talents. If you want to try any of these builds yourself, here they are. The only thing I have to say stands out to me is Nazebo picked that Vile Infection talent, which, yeah, can be good if you already have the stacks. If you are a bit late on like those stacks, if you're nowhere near, we saw them they're still maybe halfway through the quest. I'm not doing math this early. Like, I just think maybe there would have been a better talent at the time, as this meant they essentially had no level 20 for these last few fights, which, to put it lightly, is not good. Those 20s are some of the most powerful abilities in the game, and if you don't have them, if you're missing that 20 when everyone else has it, you kind of feel like you've neutered yourself just a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to throw it to a brief break while I set up the next map, and we shall see where that goes. Right, I am back. And we do see a Braxis holdout being picked here. As I said at the beginning, for anyone who may have missed it, I don't know whether Small Potatoes picked first pick or map pick. That's purely because I do like things like going into this blind, and if I know even who does that it kind of spoils even the first game in regards to that. However, yeah, where is it? We do hear that we are into the Braxis game, so let us swap it on over so we can actually see the action and not just me yarning at a screen about maps. If I remember where my buttons are, click this, and right on the left-hand side of Small Potatoes, because we started with, we started with Small Potatoes last time, we'll start with them again. We do have Chimp Loafers on the Imperious, Tone Phone on the Morales, Hound FPS this time on the Mephisto. I did the hand motion of what Mephisto does, but Mephisto exerted on the Sylvanas and Shinamaiso once again with Joanna. On right hand side we see Chest Looter on the Dahaka once again. Kamatripson on the right wing. Stark is on May. EKB is on the Maev. And Schumann once again on the Kael'thas. We do see that Skull Missile coming through, but not quite finding anything, as just a few hits being traded out, but not much happening. Exerted doing their best just to pressure Chest Looter. But not really much being found as of the moment. I'm just going to remember how zooming works. She might be getting hit with few abilities, but really not much being found of it so far. We do see Stark kind of taking a lot of damage here. Not quite wanting to really eat as much as they are, but we are here. That was an excellent pull into the Blizzard. Stark did go in quite low, used Ice Block immediately, however, did not find much more. I'm being told the offlane matchup is fun. As I see Chimp Loafers getting pulled into the tower range. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this offlane because Braxis, one of the most important offlanes in the game, as I have been told and I'm aware of, and I like to say, we do actually see a very interesting combo coming out here from Maiev trying to tether, I say trying because he didn't quite get in this time, but tethering targets and trying to pull them back into Maze Blizzard, a very interesting engage kind of combo we have there. Well, here's the offlane. Chesslute, alright, you better deliver at some point. Anyway, we do see this coming in just like... wow, I'm just losing my words. Maiev losing a lot of health there, just getting that phase shift out from the Brightwing on someone. I thought it was EKB, but maybe not. We just see Shin Meister stepping onto this objective first. And we just see both objectives kind of being held evenly by each side. Maiev once again diving into that backline. We see Paul coming into the Blizzard, Stark sliding in as well, and that will be a lot of resets happening from EKB, as that will be the Mephisto going down first. Exerted diving on EKB in the backline. EKB managing to get out. I got very confused for a second. I'm like, how did Sylvanas do her E twice? But no, it was EKB with their E at the end. Stark also barely getting out, low health, low mana, and this will be actually a look like reset from the side of gillyShark, as he's just a bit too low to do anything. So right, while that's happening, let's just look back up here. Yep, we do see that it is the offlane. Chimploaf is stepping up, Chesslute just kind of stepping on him. Chimploaf is, I should say, is actually pretty low for the Imperious. It's just like they're trying their best to kind of sustain through Chesslute's damage. I'll say Chesslute. Dahaka has pretty good sustain in like the long term span. Actually, one of the best sustains for offlaners is just you've got an X amount of points in your bank, you're going to use them properly. But anyway, while that's happening, we do see Stark pushing onto this objective, coming trips and helping them out. Just want to briefly pull up this just so people see EKB does have managed to hit Exerter. Exerter getting pulled back into the Wizard, however, does get that E out in time. Oh yeah, Imp Globe Talent is fantastic. I use it on this map often as it adds just so much extra sustain with the healing and the armor. As I do see that came in at 4. Just to notice now that there is a Skull Missile build from Mephisto. Yeah, sure, it takes a while to build up, but once it builds up, it can do a lot. EKB goes in, doesn't quite have the tether up, it looks like, and just throws some knives at the Morales and decides to leave. Excellent slide on Shinmeister. Shinmeister being slowed by that slide. However, we don't see much more damage following up to him. Yeah, sure, we have a lot of engage and combo potential on the side gillyShark, but Schumann really needs to find that extra damage just to kind of burst through the Morales healing. Morales is an excellent healer in terms of if it's a single target that's trying to get blown up, they can do a lot to keep them alive with that heal beam, with that safeguard, especially with a new 20 now coming in. That kind of, not in this game yet, but the new 20 that makes people unkillable. We do see, yeah, actually, as was mentioned, now that Chimp Loafers does have that globe talent, they are kind of surviving through a lot more. Speaking about surviving through, Stark is looking a bit worse for wear for a lot of these engagements, and it looks like Chesslute is also a bit worse off now as well. This offlane got much harder for them. Just to think, yeah, we do see Hero Stalker, probably a necessary talent considering that you'll be fighting a lot on this map and you don't really have the means to double soak all that often. And if you do find the time to double soak on this map, something's gone very weirdly very early on. Something's gone very weird. Maybe not wrong, but weird. EKB just diving into that fire. However, we don't quite see the combo properly coming out that time. Just Blizzard was a bit late, however, Exerted barely living. Excellent healing by the Morales. We see Sevens are through for the side of gillyShark. Shinmeister stepping up once again. I wonder what's happening up here. Oh, that was a shameful time to go up. Chesslute gets stunned, and we do see actually abilities being traded out here. Chimp Loaf is backing off as Chesslute. Looter does get the phase shift from the Brightwing. That means there should be a call now to step in. Yep, we see Stark has step out as Small Potatoes decide to get far more aggressive as well. Brightwing is the top. That you have a man advantage. Time to push in, and to push in they did. Stark is also pretty low themselves, does have to step out for a bit. We just see camp finally being picked, first camp being picked up by Small Potatoes here. It's about maybe even 2 minutes behind of the first objective picked up by... Not objective, camp picked up by gillyShark. Stark gets stunned there. Not really too much more fighting. We do actually see first percentage going over the side of blue for the first time. We see Hardy FPS looking for an interesting angle. Sheenamite's actually getting pretty low here. Relish doing their best to top him up. Full energy bar, that should be fine. Just looking back up here, we do see a spear coming out, and actually this is a very close fight up top, and it looks like neither side is planning on backing down. Chessloot trying their best, and that will be Chimp Loafers going down. I actually caught me offlane for once. It is a miracle, and that will be Chesslooters getting over Looters. Why do I keep saying Looters? It's just Looter, isn't it? Yeah, Chesslooter trying to get over that objective. Wait, I think I know why it's Looters. I think I know why I keep saying Looters. Yeah, because Loafers keep making me think that. ETB does get that pull onto the Morales. Morales actually runs out the correct way, not quite getting stunned there by the Blizzard, and is out safe, funnily in fact. Funnily in fact, for a fun fact, we see once again that Skull Missile coming through. We did hit that 20 mark, so there is that extra damage of 100, I believe. As you see now, Chimp Loafers gets an excellent spear onto Chesslooter having to back off. Red team need to get this bottom objective now, or else we will see more percentage going over to the side of... Which we do. We do see more percentage coming over to the side of Small Potatoes. And thing to mention from Small Potatoes, if they get an objective here, they're in a very good situation as Exerted does, as they do have Exerted on that Sylvanas. Sylvanas is excellent in this map here. We had a bit of Andy's energy there. Start kind of does the slide a bit early, kind of moves Exerted away right at the time the Tether would have pulled. And we just see the stun did come out, but her just kind of flopping away from the Blizzard. But right, as I was saying, Black Arrows on this map is very painful to say the least. You get a lot of your Zerg defense from your structures, and if the structures don't do nothing, it's not going to do anything. Yeah, we do see them pushing up. Brightwing staying bottom to help push with this objective, but not really much we may be able to do against the free man. Looking up here, where this is probably going to be the interesting one for a while. We do see the Exerted is pushing up, and we do see those Black Arrows coming out, turning off those buildings. Yep. Just playing safe. Just actually only really turning off 2 towers and leaving, as we do see for 5 man now of gillyShark in this top lane. I'd like to see a split push in bottom. Just, and yeah, we do see Sylvanas moving down, so it's very likely going to happen, as it will take a little bit of time for the side of gillyShark to rotate down there. Dahaka actually burrowed down first just to act as a deterrent. Tongue gets interrupted by the pull from Joanna. Cheslo just getting relatively low, does pop trait. That will be Imperious going down in top lane. Are we about to just have a race between... a fort race? We see Black Arrows coming up, Cheslo getting booped out by the grenade on Tone Phone, Mind Control coming out, however that healing going off, as we did see the adaptation being used there. Adaptation not something we see picked up as often. Isolation is very much the pick most of the time. Cheslo trying their best to live, however they will go down to the end, no bush for them to escape to. Maybe if they ran up they may have had a chance, but they needed that extra pressure from the fort. That'll be the first fort going down from the side of... As Small Potatoes gets the first fort, and is followed not too long after by the fort from the side of... Good point move by Brightwing, meaning that the Catalyst was actually able to back. This is now Imperious in a very interesting situation. Karma Tripson just leading them on a little bit of a ride, but not really doing much to fight back. Interesting warning ping. Let's see what Joanna does. They're actually looking to take the siege camp. We'll just continue rotating up, taking this top building. I like these plays with the Sylvanas, as it just lets you be that just a bit more aggressive. Stark is an excellent ice out onto both the... Oh, there's actually a lot going on as the Sylvanas goes down first. Tone Phone is getting pyroblasted. Now, if you don't know anything about Morales outside of that level 4 that she picked up, there's actually not much in terms of sustain on her. She has to heal kind of full health things to kind of get up there, but that means slower energy. How DPS tried to use the... I can remember it. Oh, actually, there's a grab onto the Dahaka. Dahaka doesn't quite go down on the gate, and that will be Mephisto going down, the Durance not finding anyone as it was interrupted a bit too early. And right, it should be interesting to see how the side of gillyShark uses it, and we see an instant rotate on the camp. Yeah, they only have 1 man advantage now as Sylvanas has respawned. However, we do see there is still a 1 man advantage, and they're a bit cagey to step in. We do see objectives starting to get channeled by the side of gillyShark. Oh, EGB just taking the shortcut of Overwar, We do see both of these bruiser camps being picked up by the side of gillyShark. So a little bit extra XP will help out in the long run. Joanna stepping on top objective, making sure that only 20% of the beacons get over to gillyShark. That 20% is actually already more than your baseline of if you don't get anything of 18%. So that is a good start for this objective phase for gillyShark. And just, they're painting this map red. However, no one's scouted this map yet, so this bush yet, so there'll be a double stun already onto the side of gillyShark. Tripson actually getting out. We just see a stim droned Imperius as Brightwing is just kind of deleted. That is a very unfortunate first character to lose, as we see EQB just doing their best to do some extra damage control. Shinamai's stepping onto this objective, not really being able to get removed. Shempelofers did use that kidnap. I can't remember what squad I have to check after this. However, this will be start going down first. Exerted does get hit by Schumann's Neverwind, but will not go down. Wrath of Anguirus. Okay, I was not going to remember what that was called, but that's a very... We're seeing actually a decent amount of value being found here with it. As, yeah, sure, it's hit once, but the price of it alone is a lot. Cheslooter having to pop adaptation, managed to dodge the mind control and does well to do so. Chemplof is just kind of ignoring the subjective for a moment. I would like to see him grab it a bit soon, grab it on the way down, and we do see him spear onto it just to get that beacon progress over. May only just respawn now. We do see this fight once again occurring as the Joanna getting very low. Shinmeister does have to back out. And this will be the objective being taken once again by the side. Well, the beacon taken over once again by the side of gillyShark, because we're just getting this backwards, forward and backwards. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The objective's just kind of its own eternal struggle. Sure, we have the Immortals going off in Battlefield of Eternity, but this one is just who gets the objectives, the eternal struggle. Maybe, yeah, not the eternal conflict, but the eternal struggle, I'll call this one. And we do see that two people from Small Potatoes decide to step on this objective. Brightwing does see that bottom we do have the Imperius and such, and yep, there is immediate choice of Hound to back out. Exerted does get mind control off onto May, so it cuts her slide off early. That was the double E from Sylvanas as they get dragged back in. A little bit going on here. Chimploth is getting actually isolated by Carmen Trips and just making sure they get pushed out, and that will be the Sylvanas going down first. Joanna and Hound also in that awkward situation. That is an excellent spear into a cleanse actually on EKB. So Chimploth is caught a little bit out of position now, getting run down by Cheslooter. Does get that Wrath of Anguirus off, however, still quite low. The tongue comes out, that will be them going down, maybe. Yeah, no, maybe it is the Tone Phone keeping him alive. Barely, however, Shinmeister will go down here while the Chimplofer's got to live. Stark just slowly pestering Hound FPS, and that will be the subjective now being channeled once again by the side of gillyShark. Are they just considering a boss call? No, EKB is in fact halving in that bush. Stark now a bit away from his team. Manages to dodge the Durance. Very good stuff. Forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. And one step forward, but however, nothing too much found there as another 26% goes over the side of gillyShark and that objective. And this should be a push in for them. EKB just playing very safe, just want to know where the enemy team is first. And now that we see Chimplophus is on this objective, they will push up onto this top beacon just to try and make sure not too much is gained. What is happening over here? Oh, the camp just got pulled very far away. Cheslooter gets hit by a spear. That will be a stun coming out from Joanna. Yep, Blessed Shield was used. Carmen Tripson uses that Emerald Wind to help get the allied team to safety. Allied team? The team of gillyShark safe. I really need to say like the team name as opposed to allied team, enemy team, or red team, blue team. I'm trying my best to like remember this team is called this. And just oof. It's a bit rough this morning apparently, but it is what it is. So I'm going to keep saying this morning. Someone's going to come and go, it's not morning. It's, I don't know time zones, but it's 7 at night or something like that. Maybe not 7, but 6 at night. But yeah, like, I'm not going to do an American accent. I'm very much going to disgrace myself if I ever try that. We're going to go like Southern drawl at best, but outside of that, maybe not. Anyway, we do see that Flame Strike checking the bush. Actually, it's double Flame Strike. Very interesting to see from Schumann, as we do see Stark trying to get locked down, but that mount speed just doing a bit too much for Shinmeister to catch up. Mind Control is excellent, managed to find Schumann there. Queens came out a bit too early. That's an interrupt onto the Emerald Wind, and that will be Kelfis going down first. EKB does get grabbed immediately at the end of their flip and will go down to be Rafavangeris' land. And that is an excellent 2 kill for the side of Small Potatoes. Once again, when they get those 16s, they manage to get... I've noticed that last map, noticing it once again this map. When they get those 16s, they get a lot more aggressive, and we saw that happen as just immediately 16s came through, and we saw a double kill once again for the side of Small Potatoes. To exactly mirror their last map of Cursed Hollow. They got their 16s, got a double kill. So we're seeing shades of the same game. I wonder, however, if they'll be able to keep the momentum off of this double kill this time. We see Boss taken. Only thing to note is I'm very unfortunate that Boss is not going to be pushing with Zerg. Boss is going to be pushing the opposite lane, which... Actually, I don't know if that's unfortunate now I say that. Sure, one has a Boss Zerg, but on the other hand, you do have a Boss Zerg pushing opposite lanes, which means you may have to split your resources or just focus one, then go to the other. If I was gillyShark now, I would just defend this boss, which they are doing, and then immediately rotate bottom, but looks like they're doing camp first. Again, there's a reason why I'm not Nexus div, and we'll find that out. But we do see this boss starting to be burnt down first, as I thought would happen. All while this Zerg is getting ready to push up into the bottom lane. As much damage coming out as possible. This boss looks like it will be abandoned now by at least for 4 man, as it's getting relatively low to those towers alone. However, this gate is already down bot lane, and we do see the side of Forward Heads pushing in, as that Sylvanas does have that trait to turn off the building. It was turned off for long enough to really get proofing. That is a stim drone out onto the Joanna. That we did hear that Rafavangeris go out, but unfortunately missed. May goes down first to the Zerg wave by the looks of it. It looks like that Small Potatoes is doing their best to finish here. They're a bit annoyed about the last game. They were able to get the Maev as well. There's a spear coming out onto Chesler. Chesler having to pop that trait. Adaptation was also used before, so they're trying their best to hold on. However, that is still a full Zerg. Oh, not a full Zerg core, but that is the 3 Ultralists on core, and that will be dropping very quick, and that will be the map going over to the sides of Small Potatoes. So we have already a map-free game. Very good stuff by the side of Small Potatoes. Right, let me change scene to the proper scene. I nearly clicked the wrong one. I'm definitely good at this. As I'll go over the stats. And actually we did see gillyShark did end up with more kills. However, in the end it doesn't matter, as early kills are not the most consequential. And it's those late game kills that really stack up. And we did see that double kill for the 16 on such a snowballing map just kind of made it so that Small Potatoes was able to close this out relatively comfortably. Again, we did see very comparable healing from the both sides healers. Morel's outdoing, Toneford outdoing Cover Tripson this time, just kind of getting one up back on them. And we do see I think Morales was a very good pick here, especially with how the combo worked. Because if just one person was pulled in from the side of Small Potatoes, and it wasn't Morales. Morales did have that safeguard and that healing to keep them alive. But I gotta say, I love the combo that came out from gillyShark. I've never thought of a Maev engage into the maze stun. That's very creative for someone just small brain div E like myself. But anyway, that was a very good game. I'm gonna throw it over to the talent, see what stands out, what things were important. That off lane very much got much harder for Chesluda once those fours come in. This Globe talent of press forward, it does a lot of healing and that armor does a lot. Yeah, sure, we do have Hero Stalker from Dahaka adding that extra sustain as well, but it wasn't quite enough in the end. I've really got to try out with Consuming Flame more, because I see it more and more, but I just don't know why it is picked. Nothing else major to note, really. We did have Skull Missile build. This came to popularity at some point this year when a video was released about its power and such, and people were like, okay, let's do it. Galvus went into that Flame Strike build without a Conviction. No, I understand Conviction is a meme talent, so yeah, I'm not even going to start digging at that. But yeah, otherwise, we did have that pull, that Tether build. Actually, that's a very interesting build. It looks like more a Spirit of Vengeance than anything else. Yeah, Spirit of Vengeance Tether build with a little bit of knives at 16. But right, I'm going to throw it to a break while I set up the next map. So I will see you all again shortly. I'm getting better at this. I've already set up the next map. Look at me go. Anyway, I do see that it is loading up, and we'll get in once we have it fully loaded. So I have my OBS ready. I've got my finger on the transition button that I have. I don't even have a right scene open, which doesn't help, but we will actually cut over to it. Come on, game. Yep, we do hear it is coming in, so we will transfer over. Alright, let's start over right-hand side this time. We have EKB on that Sonya, so we're throwing it up a little bit. Carmen Tripson on the Tyrande, Chess Looter on the Li Ming. Got there in the end. Schumann on the Raynor, and Stark on the Anubarak. On the left-hand side of Small Potatoes, we have Shinmeister still on tank on that Jumpy boy. I can't remember the name. Muradin. Chimp Loafers once again the offlane on the Artanis this time. Exerted on Junkrat, Hound FPS on the Zebo, and Tone Phone on the Stukov. Right, so we are going to probably be seeing look for an early pick. That is the main reason why we would see the Artanis coming bottom. I want to see the swap hit someone. Artanis, you're taking a long time. Very good patience actually by both sides, just making sure they know where the 5-man is. Chimploaf is designed to leave. Yeah, that'll be the right call, as Sonya is already starting their siege. And if you know anything about this Artanis here, not the best in terms of wave clear. I'd like to see EKB just getting a bit more aggressive onto this wall, but I understand why not. Shinameister actually rotates up as well. The thing is, if the red team realizes, they'll be able to get a lot of ground, and we do see that Muradin coming once again back down to the allies. And Schumann getting a lot of damage early on. Right, I kind of forgot to run down things last game. Sorry, I just need to mute myself really quick because I feel like I'm about to... Sorry about that. There'll be Schumann going down first. Excellent kind of zoning by Exerted with that land concussion mine, meaning that Raynor had to step back in. But right, we do see some pretty standard talents here, for at least this map, as we do see the Exterminator, we see the Amateur Opponent. Those two are essentially considered meta PvE. Those are the meta PvE talents for this map, as it helps you get through Immortal far quicker. Be interesting to see who wins a race here. I think for the first bit, I will have to give it over to... Ooh, excellent blink, getting them out of danger. That's good follow-up stun. However, the final E from Stark did not quite find anything. As I was saying, I do think I have to give the early race over to Small Potatoes. But at least... Actually, big ol' flip. Like, Small Potatoes have been in the mid-game gillyShark, and then late game back to Small Potatoes. As you see, this camp is actually pushing in quite a bit. The Nubrak does manage to find the double stun, and that's triple stun on Shinmeister. Shinmeister uses jump to get aggressive onto Raynor. Raynor getting relatively low. However, we will not find purchase onto that kill, as both Shinmeister and Schumann got very low there. However, nothing quite ended up. Nothing quite have found purchases. Yeah, both teams kind of did a lot of damage, but didn't quite find anything. Very unfortunate for, like, either team, but very fortunate for both teams. We did see fours coming through, and we do see actually that Sledgehammer from Muradin. This adds a lot of extra race potential. Well, maybe not a lot, but a decent amount of extra race potential on the side of Small Potatoes, as that 350% extra damage to PvE targets essentially will include these Immortals. We do see Sonya getting this camp slowly out top. Muradin has been left to defend this camp mid top as well, just I can't even see its health bar. Where is your health bar? You're still pretty high health. As that Stormbolt found something not quite what they wanted. Is EKP going to slow down Chimplovers? Yeah, Chimplovers, I should keep in mind, while we're defending here, is not attacking that Immortal, so we do see the advantage actually going with the gillyShark, and we do see the half-time show coming up. Starkover getting very low, and that would be them going down to the Immortal itself. Karma trips and just not quite keeping them up in time. We do see our build from them. It's not the build I've been using recently, but it still is very good in terms of vision and burst. It's like, the thing is about Owl's like, yeah, it still gives you a reset. It's an ability hitting someone, and if you can reset that Owl, there's the Owl. I'm still on Mirror, I'm just gonna look at this. Nope, that's gonna go down. This. Nope, this. Yeah. Schumann stepping up once again. Shinmeister trying to make sure they can't step in. Stark looking to dive, maybe. Nope, gets the first stun onto it. That's the second stun coming up from Karma Trips, and that'll be a third stun once again. Actually, this time hitting Tone Phone, and that's a very good target for him to get. Tone Phone is able to get out. Shinmeister staying in. And that'll be via halftime show going over to the side of gillySharks. We see that Swordtails are closer to the level 7s. However, it looks like it'll just be a clean race by both sides, and that will be going over to the side of gillyShark. Turns out it's a bit wrong on the race, but it is still early days. And we did see that they did have gillyShark had the advantage of halftime show. Right, we do see Immortals going top. If you don't know how Immortal works, you don't play HOTS very often, but that's fine. Essentially, you'll go to the lane with the most structure left, and as we saw, this tower is down a little bit. This tower's down a little bit. This is only a gate down a little bit. That will be the Immortal going top. As Belif will be pushing this in. Oh. Trap build. Just hear the chattering teeth and just watch them chasing around as we do see that big Az coming in. Which... that is pretty, like, oceanic. Sweet Az, bro. Got the big Az, bro. I would like a bro just add in there, but big Az works as well. And we do actually see Stark going down, thank you to that concussion mine. I feel like if there's too much Junkrat on the screen, I'll get aggressively more, like, into my normal Kiwi voice. Just going, yeah, nah, no worries, mate. She'll be right. And I think, like, the longer that goes on, the less it will make sense to almost everyone in here. As fun as that would be, I wanted it to very much just do a, yeah, nah, she'll be right. We do see the Tone Phone just sticking down the silence under the gate, making sure no one can step out for a little bit. We see how many FPS trying to get the spiders out. They do manage to hit Schumann. Very good stuff here. But that's getting very generic at this point, so I'm going to stop that, as that will pester my voice a bit too much. And Tone Phone finally gives up silencing that gate. As we do see the sidewall broken, it kind of means that Stukov's ability loses its silence and will be exerted, actually losing a lot of health, and will be going down to that Li Ming. Karma Trips gets caught a bit out, gets stuck in the zombie wall. That will be frogs thrown at them, EKB doing their best to pester as well. We just see offlane is now emptied as Tannis is coming around, and that will be spiders actually done by Hound FPS. We do see both teams are relatively even when it comes to getting out their 10s. Chimplovers is up here now. That does add the extra damage they need, but Li Ming is getting... Oh, that's an excellent push by Schumann as Muradin's jump was pushed off the point at the perfect time. Meaning Camp did go over to the side of gillyShark. Ping has come out here, and it was Schumann making sure that they want this camp done. We did see that during this, that EKB did get that bottom soak. So we do see 10s will be coming through roughly the same time. Probably a bit over to the favor of Small Potatoes. However, they'll still be roughly coming at the same time. No, actually, it comes in first for gillyShark, as we do see 10s come out. We see that Web Wrap, the Cocoon, coming out from Anubarak. Repulsion, no, Wave of Force from Li Ming. Leap Sonya. Starfall. Lunara. Not Lunara, Tyrande. Oh, that combo wasn't quite timed right, as that will be Chimplovers eating a lot of damage. Tire does interrupt a lot of the combo potential. EKB barely misses the leap onto them. However, that will still be the Artanis going down, as there's already a one-man taken out. We do see both Healer and Exerted, both Heal and Junkrat kind of zoned out quite a bit by that Hyperion. We do see Shinmeister doing the best. They do have that Skullcracker to kind of interrupt the enemy fight. However, gillyShark had already found that one person, but actually is a decent amount of race gone from the side of Small Potatoes. And saying that, Small Potatoes is barely ahead on this race, but we're fighting a lot around their Immortal. We did have a little bit of a head start. But anyway, I should really touch on the ults of Small Potatoes. We do see that Suppression Pulse from the Artanis, which did just swap in, didn't quite get anything they wanted off because of that Schumann's push. Speaking about push, we have massive shove by the Stukov. Avatar from Muradin. Nazebo went his gargantuan, so it does add that extra push potential. And we did see the Reptile from the Junkrat. I'm going to zoom out as we see just a lot of posturing happening as both the Anubarak and the, oh god, Toronto was able to, sorry about the yawning, was able to back off and reset their health and mana. Well, not fully, but a decent amount. Posturing once again is coming out. Stark managed to dodge Chimplofer's phase prism as they did try to do the cheeky throw out swap back type thing. Pushing up, Shinmeister a bit out of position. We see Tone Phone does now get hit by that owl, so they do know that there was a lowish Stukov in the background. However, they're eating a lot of damage. Chesslucer does get thrown in, but however, that is a Li Ming. Li Ming, one of the best characters to back out to safety, as we do see him manage to dodge the Muradin jump. That will be a stun coming out. Shinmeister, Shimplofer's does manage to hit Schumann, and Schumann will be going back in the middle of the team of Small Potatoes. That will be them going down first. Anubarak going down not soon after. And that will be this objective going over to the side of Small Potatoes, even though gillyShark was very close to competing it themselves. And that'll be the Immortal landing, and that will be Ilarion going top. And we do see a push deciding to happen bottom instead, as we the first fort found of the game by the side of Small Potatoes. Now it looks like they'll be pushing up with that Immortal, as it's only really just flying to top now. Very aggressive rotation. There's really nothing to kind of eat from over this wall or anything like that, so it's not too dangerous to be that aggressive on the rotation. This tower's quickly falling and will be this building next to this fort. So this is already a single fort from this one Immortal. Sure, it was not where the Immortal was, but it's still a single fort. That will be a double fort phase already for the side of Small Potatoes. However, this Immortal just taking its time walking on up. Yep. We do see that there's the first tower of this keep going down. Schumann does get pushed out by the Junkrat. I should keep in mind that 13 aren't even through yet. We're at level 12, 10 minutes in, and that was a double fort phase from this objective. Very good stuff. So I don't think I've seen Gargantuan actually dropped in any of the maps that's been used yet. I don't recall. That will be Shinmeister being broken out of their webby prison. Exerted gets that Riptire onto Stark, but not much more is found as that spell armor was popped, reducing that tire's damage. Stark having used Burrow to get out, EKB spins through Chimplofer's, who did get the swap of them, but that spin means they are able to just phase through pure matter, including people itself. Maybe not wolves, but people. Sorry about that, saw an email, have to read. And we do see that owl coming through, not quite finding anyone, but we do see a lot of pressure on for the side of gillyShark as Small Potatoes are pushing in faster and faster. Right, Chimplofer's coming in, just doing their damage, doing their swap, getting stunned, Leap coming out, there's an extra stun combo on the Chimplofer's already. Chimplofer's getting relatively low. We did see that blind coming out, that suppression pulse. It actually messes with Tyrande a lot, and we do see EKB going down as Karma trips and was now able to get that heal reset of the auto attacks. We've now dropped the Starfall, but however it just feels a bit too little too late as we had already lost one. Stark did get rooted, and Chimplofer's unfortunately did swap into the tower. Tone Phone pushes away Schumann. We just do see the soft siege still happening. Thing to note, Sonya isn't that far off. They're only about 6 seconds out now. We do see that Small Potatoes does decide to leave. Oh no, good decision to leave. Good fight for Small Potatoes. There's a 2-level fight for them and only a 1-4. They now have, a level advantage over the side of gillyShark. I say that, but then Nazebo dies immediately. Stark tunneling vision with us back in. Shinmeister is actually very aggressive compared to the rest of the team. Does manage to get out relatively safe next pitch up. That will be a leap coming on to the Tone Phone, and that is Tone Phone down next. This is a 2-0 already. Chessler manages to blink and dodge the Riptire. Excellent stuff. Stark rotating very aggressively. Karma Tripson doesn't quite find anyone that's stunned, but it seemed a bit more of a deterrent than anything else. Right. Am I still fully... Oh my god, I was still fully zoomed out the whole time, I'm sorry. We do see this race going on. This is most awkward to view at both times, but we can see at least the Immortal's health is here. That race will be going over to the side of gillyShark, even with small potatoes missing things such as their Stukov and their Nazebo. So yeah, this race is still very close in terms of extra damage. That's an excellent owl hitting both Shin Mice and Chiploafers. We do see that Naz damage stacking up, however, we see Hyperion coming out on the right hand side. I'm actually going to zoom in over here now. As the Immortal is dropping, but so is the health of everyone else. There is the Sun coming out. Shin Meister gets pushed out from the game. Going to push on this Beetle because it's going to die next. We just see Immortal going over to the side of gillyShark. However, gillyShark also finds Junkrat way out. Stark blinks, not blinks, and Stark burrows in, gets hit by all the Junkrat chaotic grenade damage though. Shin Meister getting a good double stun, able to jump up. Chesto is trying to best down it. However, Shin Meister isn't able to get out as they do get hit by that spear, hit by that stun, and that will be them going down at the end of the day. They only managed to stall for their allies to get out. As we do see, the Immortal is already bottom, and Chimplofers has already worked on cracking it open. That's a good fight. There's been some excellent fights here, as we do see 15s and now have come through. We're not quite at the 16 talent tier yet, but that will be a fort likely being taken. Actually, maybe not. That looks like it will be this Immortal going down before anything else can happen. And yeah, the Immortal phase of this for the side of gillyShark did not quite find as much as the last one for small potatoes. So it's very interesting to see what is happening here. gillyShark is definitely driving the best to stay in this, even down the structures. They at least did crack open this top one. It looks like they may be able to go rotate the combat bottom one anytime. So we do see Chimplofers trying to swap in and pushing buttons again. And we see Leap coming out, hitting an excellent 3-man stun. And we see the 4-man stun that time. Junkrat is able to boot things out. And that is an excellent shove onto the Raynor, essentially removing one man for fight for a hot minute. However, Tonephone does get hit by the wave of force. Chesloader does have to blink out. And that was the Stukov going down first. Just isolated from the rest of the team. Stark misses that stun, unfortunately. We just see people getting all relatively low. Chesloader has to back out, which seems like that is a disengage call from the side of gillyShark. Oh, this is such an amazing series already. I love free map series because it usually means if it's a free map series, it's likely it's been close every single map, and it has been so far. Right. I'm going to briefly pull up some 16s just to show you all what's happening. We do see that mirror ball from a Li Ming. A talent that I've picked up more often than not. I do love it a lot. I do wonder about this triple strike Titan Killer stuff because it's things I never use. Obviously it is working out because they did manage to win. Wait. We do see it does a lot of damage in right circumstances, but I wonder if it's worth picking those talents with survivability, especially if you already have Artanis, who is a pretty good bully even without things such as Protector of Io and these damage talents. I wonder if you just build survivability instead, but we'll see. This is yet to go either way, and well, you want Race having an extra blade for this amateur opponent is gonna do it. That triple strike adding just that one extra 150%, right? As I say that, we're gonna get back into this. This Leap comes out, hitting the Exerted first, hitting that Junkrat, and we do see that Root Silence hitting out onto the Sonya. Sonya, however, not quite going down. That will be Raynor actually for Hyperion finding that Muradin first. Actually, Harley FPS is very out of position now, gets Stone Wombos. Chesloader does manage to back out. Stark doesn't quite get the stun off. That looks like that was a biokill switch from Tonephone, and this should be this side of a race going over to the side of gillyShark. Yep. And Chesloader was using that Immortal just kind of get their healing back up. That's why Tyrande is actually good on this map. If you're fighting even under the aggressive one, you do have that means to get extra healing off. As your heal is reduced by your auto attack, and just so on and so forth. Triple strike, making an extra side blade pop out of Tensen's foot. I was thinking forehead more, Rock, I'm going to be honest. Just he headbutts someone with a blade. Think about that. Or he just grows a third arm out of his stomach, I don't know. Anyway, that will be a very healthy Immortal going over to the side of gillyShark as we already see it. Bottom, Stark pushing up here. We do see the swap coming on to Stark, however, that is in a Nubrak at the end of the day. Maybe not the tankiest, but definitely has the means to get out and does have the reason why I'm tanking this out of push of a button. Which is an excellent silence. Roots coming out onto Stark. Stark will go down this time as they did not have another burrow charge. And we do have this side of... We did actually see that during this, the Immortal did find the spawn was already pushing onto the spot gate. As we do see only now this side of Small Potatoes managing to step onto this Immortal. Yeah. I don't know what else to say here. We just see the Immortal being burnt down, but while top, we do see that gillyShark is pushing down that top with that Hyperion. And I still don't know if it's... I think I've seen Gargantuan maybe once or twice. Am I just that inattentive? Probably. But it could also just be used. Hound FPS has only used their Gargantuan once or twice. I should say, speaking of Gargantuan, we do see that 20s are closer to the side of gillyShark than Small Potatoes. And there isn't really too much to do off the map. Siege camps are only just coming up now. It's a bit too dangerous for either side to really push into the other. gillyShark is definitely at a disadvantage in terms of getting that extra bit of soak because of how pushed these waves are. I would have liked to see these waves actually frozen a bit more, but no, we are going to actually see them pushed out by the side of not gillyShark, by Small Potatoes. And there'll be 20s, that Storm Talent coming through now for the Nexus. For the, not Nexus division, but gillyShark itself. We see that Repulsion, the Rewind from Manubrak, giving him 4 stuns and impressive amount of stuff. Ariat Crater from Sonya, something you don't see picked up too often. Ice Blade arrows from the Tyrande, I nearly called it Lunara, and the Execute orders. Yeah, from Varanor lowering his Death Timer. Oh, there is the Ariat Crater, and that will be Junkrat getting EKB out. That will be actually the Anubrak going down first. EKB will be soon to follow. That is the prime example of when sometimes 19 is greater than 20, we get too a bit aggressive. Cheslaw has lost a lot of health there, but yeah. Prime example of getting a bit too overconfident with your talents, as that will be both the frontliners down and Immortals being called. Not good situation from gillyShark in all honesty. Don't like this situation. We do see this Bruiser camp coming up, however we do see that the blue side is pressing up to do it themselves. Shinameister looks to dive Schumann. Schumann does actually get hit by the stun, but doesn't get followed up properly on by the zombie wall when they're able to get out. So this is a building play, and maybe an end call from the side of not gillyShark, Small Potatoes. We'll have to see where they go. No, they just want that Keaton to leave. Okay. Are they even going to take this Bruiser camp? No? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. No, they've decided to go raise. As we see, once again, this race coming out, as I remember which buttons do what. This. Okay, game. There we go. As that is the halftime show going over very comfortably for the side of Small Potatoes. gillyShark really kind of has to fight here if they want to stay in this, as we do see rocks coming. We see the double suppression pulse. We see that top off rewind from Muradin. Gargantuan upgrade Humongoid from the Nazebo, and the Cannonball from the Junkrat. What is the actual talent called? Orbital Bombardment. There you go. We did see Stark use that stun already. Chimploff is now at a bit out of position. Actually, Hound FPS very out of position if they found out they're in trouble. Shinameister is in a decent position to keep them alive. With a very split fight happening here as I close this just for ease of vision. Stark gets that web wrap onto the... Oh, falls a bit short. There's an excellent Ariat Crater, however, Junkrat managed to get both himself and EKB out. This is a lot of damage coming out from the backline. Hound FPS will be first to go down. Shearmeister also getting relatively low during all of that. There is a blind coming out onto the Sonya, as Chiplovers has actually been racing this whole time. That may be the downfall here, as we do see him getting towed on now, and that'll be them down next. I don't think it'll be a good idea to feed for this Immortal blue team. You need to defend. You'll need to have to defend that 5-man push, as we do see this Bruiser camp already pushing in top. Raynor starts racing. Exerted sitting in a very interesting position. Chesluda actually very low. They do need that top up. We just see over here Exerted getting dove on, does manage to get himself out of danger. Very close stuff. This race is looking now to go over to the side of gillyShark. The only thing to think of is Muradin is doing what they think they should do and just kind of saw it. Stark doesn't quite hit the stun, but however that is a bit... Shinameister isn't quite there in time. That'll be this Immortal going over to the side of the red team of gillyShark. And saying that, oh, that's a good leap, Muradin will be going down here. Actually, no, Muradin will lose a lot of their health, but it will not go down as it wasn't quite enough lockdown. And Muradin did have that dwarf toss up. And Immortal flies bottom. We do see that gillyShark wants to quickly take this top. Chesluda would probably just throw him back there, but we just see a stun trade coming out. Shinmeister actually gets their jump. Oh, I thought their jump was eaten, but they will go down at the end to that repulsion. That wave of force, actually, as it's called. There's Hyperion being used on core, and this looks like it will be an end call. Chimplovers gets actually stunned mid blade dash. There's Tone Phone going down first. not quite going down. Actually, not Karma didn't quite take him down, but we'll go down the end. We see Exerter getting dove on by EKB. EKB gets thrown away by that mine, and however, this will be the game and the series going over to gillyShark. GG by both sides. Right, let me pull up the game summary screen that I have. Push this button, and we did see that Stukov did a lot of healing throughout all of this game. However, in the end, sometimes healing doesn't matter. As sure, Tyrande isn't the best healer in terms of healing numbers, but in terms of CC, Stukov and Tyrande are pretty close. But Tyrande was just setting those stuns to set up those kills a bit more. As we did see a very large stun train coming through with the Anubarak, with the Sonya, with the Tyrande. There's about 4 or 5 stuns in a very short amount of time, in which honestly can let anyone die. Because even Ufa with his 3-4 stuns will still get a kill almost by himself with that lockdown. Wait, him or one other. But anyway, should not be talking about Ufa. They're not in this game. So once again, the Zebra actually doing a decent amount of work with that race. However, I do wonder if that was the pick once again. But yeah, as we're looking at this, I did like both comps. We did see a decent amount of... I did say that early game, late game, we would see the race going over the side of small potatoes, but it actually seemed to be the opposite, which is just me learning how this game works more and more. But yeah, I really don't have too much to say on these comps. It seemed maybe Junkrat maybe seemed a bit weird. They did definitely interrupt things such as Philippe and the area created quite a bit. It did find some picks, but if you're wanting to, they definitely built a more team fight comp as opposed to a race objective comp. But in the end, it just kind of seemed to pay off more for gillyShark with how these comps worked over the small potatoes. But right, here are the builds. If anyone wants to look at them, is there anything to note from me at least? Not really. Everything seemed to make straightforward, apart from what I already mentioned. I do wonder about Artanis' build quite a bit. It's not things I go, but it is what it is. We do have Beetle build that went through from Stark. Interested to see Beetle's juiced at 16 when you usually see Epicenter, I believe, which is just a bigger stun in general, with a cooldown reduction on said stun. But anyway, we will cut that to that map. Also, execute orders. Reno didn't really use it in the end, but it is at least a nice 35-second reduction on a death timer, which can be a lot by the end of the game. Anyway, we are going to cut that over to the map view, as we did see in the end. That was a 2-1 win for gillyShark, and that is excellent stuff. Right, I'm going to be finishing this cast here. We had excellent game by both sides. When me and gillyShark to go out to take it out. Both teams should hold their heads high. As was an excellent competitive series. Definitely got me a bit sweaty in the caster seat. Anyway, I'm going to throw it to a break while I figure out what I'm going to cast next. And I will say, at least for this cast, good morning. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye for this cast, but maybe see you next.